In the heart of Lagos, three sisters, Amoka, Chika, and Ifunanya, are forced by their domineering mother, Mama Red, to seduce wealthy men for money. But beneath Mama Red's demands lies a dark secret tied to greed, spiritual curses, and a haunting past. As the sisters uncover the truth, they must fight to escape her control before they lose themselves completely. This is a gripping urban folktale of power, survival, and the cost of freedom. In the heart of Omiro City, where tall buildings clawed at the sky and the air smelt of diesel and desperation, there lived a woman known only as Mama Red. No one knew her real name. People only knew that wherever she went, she wore a red wrapper tied tightly above her full hips, and her voice carried the command of someone used to being obeyed. Mama Red was not an ordinary mother. She was a mother with a mission, not to raise daughters into women of virtue, but into vessels of fortune. She had 3 daughters, each more beautiful than the last. The first was Chika, bold and golden-skinned with eyes that never smiled. The second was Ifunanya, soft-spoken and graceful, her beauty the kind that made men stutter. The last was Amaka, the youngest, with a wildness in her that refused to be tamed. They lived in a one-room apartment at the edge of Balagan Estate, surviving not on praise, but on pleasure sold. Mama, Chika once asked, barely 15 then, why don't you let us go to school like other girls? Mama Red scoffed, slapping a chicken thigh on the oily pan. School? Will school pay for the generator fuel? Will it buy you wig and perfume? No, my daughter. You are beautiful, use it. God gave you that body for a reason. It was a strange kind of gospel, but Mama Red preached it daily. By the time Chika turned 17, she was already hosting oil workers in hotel rooms. Ifunanya followed. Only Amaka resisted, locking herself in the bathroom at night, whispering to herself that she'd be different. But even the strongest rivers can be redirected if the hands digging are desperate enough. And Mama Red was desperate. Not for love. Not for peace. For money. And in her world, her daughters were the currency. Chika had grown used to silk sheets and strange men. At just 19, she had stayed in more hotel rooms than Mama Red ever had. She dressed in designer knockoffs and changed her hair weekly. But none of that could mask the tiredness in her eyes, the kind that came from pretending to enjoy what drained her. That Saturday night, the man she was with was different. Bolder. Pale eyes, foreign accent, too quiet. She met him through a connection Mama Red had arranged. His name was Mr. Klaus, a German businessman with a belly full of liquor and a suitcase full of dollars. Chika did what she always did, laughed, danced, and drank too much wine. When the room began to spin, she tried to excuse herself, but Klaus only smiled and locked the door. That night, something went wrong. There were screams. A crash. And then silence. At 4 a.m., the police found Chika lying unconscious 2 floors below the hotel balcony, her thigh bone twisted like rubber. She survived, but barely. The scandal was hushed. Klaus was too powerful, too rich. He was gone before dawn. When Mama Red visited her at the hospital, Chika sobbed. Her face was bruised, her leg in a cast. Mama, I can't do this anymore. I'm done, she cried. But Mama Red only adjusted her wrapper and hissed, "You're not done till I say so. The man paid me half. You'll go back once your leg heals. I didn't raise you to be weak." The room turned cold. Chika stared at her mother in disbelief, realizing something she had always tried to ignore: Mama Red didn't love them like a mother should. She loved what they could bring. And for Mama Red, broken bones were no excuse. Ifunanya had always been the quiet one, the obedient flower in Mama Red's overgrown garden. She rarely spoke, but she watched. She watched how Mama counted every naira that came in from their night runs. She watched how Chica's injury only led to more pressure on her. "You'll carry the weight now," Mama Red said flatly. "Your sister's bones are useless for now." And so, Ifeanyi stepped into deeper waters. She began to see men twice her age, most of whom smelled like gin and sweat. But unlike Chika, Ifeanyi never cried. She hardened. She learned to smile through nausea and fake passion with precision. One night, she met a man who smelled of cinnamon and wore a white agbada that brushed the floor. His name was Chief Okafor. He was wealthy, old money. His house in Lekki Phase 1 was a palace, and his interest in her was immediate. "You don't belong in those cheap hotels," he told her after their third meeting. "Let me take care of you. I want to marry you." For a moment, Ifeanyi felt the world slow down. A way out. A future without cheap perfume and scratchy hotel sheets. She told Mama Red that night, her voice trembling with excitement. "Chief wants to marry me, Mama. He says I won't have to work again." Mama Red froze, eyes narrowing. "Marry? So he can lock you up in some house and use you for free? Foolish girl. You're worth more visiting 10 men a week than lying beside one old man forever." Ifeanyi gasped. "But Mama, he..." "Shut your mouth." Mama barked. "You're not leaving. That's final." Ifeanyi cried herself to sleep that night, her heart breaking not just from rejection, but from the cruel truth that Mama would never let them go. Amaka had always felt like a stranger in her own home. While her sisters wore wigs and heels, she read books she borrowed from a church library nearby. She listened to gospel music with headphones and whispered prayers in corners. "I'm not like them," she often said to herself. "I'm not like Mama." She hated how her sisters came home smelling like whiskey and strangers. She hated the sound of Mama Red counting money like it was sacred. And most of all, she hated the day Mama sat her down and said, "It's your turn." "I'm only 16, Amaka whispered, eyes wide. "And you're already late," Mama snapped. "Do you know how many girls your age are already feeding families? You want to go to university. Who will pay? Me? Don't be stupid." That night, Amaka packed a school bag with the little money she'd saved from running errands for neighbors. Her plan was simple: escape to Ibadan where her father's sister, a woman Mama Red had forbidden them from seeing, might take her in. She left at 3 a.m., barefoot, walking with the fear of being caught choking her with every step. But Mama was too cunning. She had seen the bag hidden under the bed and waited patiently. By the time Amaka reached the bus park, 2 boys on an Okada intercepted her. "Your mama they find you," one of them said. They dragged her back, kicking and screaming. Mama Red was waiting, a wooden spoon in hand and fury in her eyes. "You think you can run away from me?" she roared. "I birthed you, fed you, bathed you. You belong to me." And as Amaka wept on the cold floor, Mama whispered in her ear, "You'll thank me when the money starts rolling in." Weeks passed. Chika's leg still hadn't healed properly. Ifeanyi had grown cold and distant. Amaka stopped speaking altogether. The small room they called home had turned into a silent battlefield, each girl locked in her private hell while Mama Red prowled like a lioness. One evening, Mama returned with a bundle wrapped in a black cloth. She laid it on the center table and called her daughters to kneel. "We're going to do a sacrifice," she said, lighting a red candle. "The money hasn't been flowing as it should. The spirits need reassurance." "What spirits?" Amaka asked, breaking her silence. Mama slapped her. "Do not question what you do not understand. These spirits gave us what we have. You think men pay you because you're beautiful? No. It's the charm. It's the power I bathed you with as babies." Chika's eyes widened. You used charms on us. Mama Red ignored her. She unwrapped the cloth, revealing a basin filled with dark herbs and the raw heart of a chicken, still bleeding. You will all wash your hands in this. It will bind you tighter to wealth. No, Amaka whispered. This is evil. Mama grabbed her by the hair. You will do it, or you will starve on the street like a mad girl. Tears streamed down Iphigenia's face as she dipped her hand into the cold blood. Chica followed, her face blank. But Amaka resisted. That night, Mama locked her in the storeroom without food or water. You'll come to your senses, she said, shutting the door. As Amaka sat in the darkness, listening to rats scrape the walls, her hatred grew, not just for her mother, but for the system that allowed mothers like Mama Red to thrive. She knew then, someone had to break the chain. Even if it meant dying. Word of Mama Red's wickedness had started to spread like smoke through the streets of Omiro. The neighbors whispered behind locked doors, women clicked their tongues when her daughters walked by, and old men spat in disgust at the sight of her red wrapper. But Mama Red didn't care. She fed on fear, not approval. Amaka, however, was changing. Ever since the basin of blood ritual, something had shifted inside her. Her dreams were filled with shadows and shrieks, and sometimes she would wake up screaming, her hands cold as ice. She needed answers, not from Mama, but from something higher. One Sunday, when Mama Red went to buy new lace for her next party, Amaka slipped out and made her way to Oberland Market. She wasn't looking for clothes. She was looking for the prophetess. They called her Mama Elijah, a fire-spitting preacher who read secrets from people's shadows. Her small shack behind the pepper sellers was filled with smoke and burnt candles. Amaka knelt before her and whispered, I need help. The prophetess looked into her eyes, then screamed, Your blood is tied. Your mother has sealed you and your sisters with a covenant of mammon. You wear invisible chains, child. Tears rolled down Amaka's cheeks. How do we break it? The prophetess placed a hand on her chest. One of you must walk away, completely. No man, no money, no touch of darkness. That sacrifice will burn the cord. But your mother, she will come for your soul when she finds out. Amaka nodded. She had already lost her childhood. She wasn't going to lose her soul. She returned home that evening with fire in her chest. She would be the one to walk away. And she would burn the bridge behind her. Chica limped more than she walked now. Her leg had healed, but badly. It ached during rain and buckled when she tried to wear heels. Still, Mama Red forced her back into the game. You don't need legs to lie down, she said without remorse. But Chica had grown cleverer in her silence. The pain, the fall, and Mama's betrayal had sharpened her mind like a blade. She knew she needed her own way out, but money was still her only ticket. So when she met Mr. Lewis, she knew something was different. He wasn't like the others. He didn't ask to touch her. He only wanted to talk. He was in his 40s, clean-shaven, and always wore an expensive wristwatch. They would sit in his hotel suite while he sipped wine and asked her questions about her dreams, her past, her fears. You don't belong in this life, he told her once. She laughed bitterly. Tell that to the woman who birthed me. He offered her a deal. Leave it all. Come to Port Harcourt with me. I'll pay for your surgery, help you start a fresh school, a job. But you must leave your mother behind. No contact. Chica paused. The offer sounded like freedom, but also like abandonment. Could she leave Iphigenia and Amaka behind? Could she betray the sisters she had bled beside? Yet deep inside her, something whispered, yes. Go. That night, Chica packed a single bag and left a note under Iphigenia's pillow, forgive me. I need to save myself before I drown. By dawn, She was gone, swallowed by the road and the hope of something new. Mama Red didn't even flinch when she found out. "She'll be back," she said coldly. "They always come back when the hunger starts." Ifeanyi stared at her reflection and saw a stranger. The girl in the mirror wore expensive lipstick, a lace blouse, and a hollow expression. The girl looked rich but felt bankrupt inside. Ever since Chica vanished, a darkness settled in the house. Mama Red didn't ask questions. She simply shifted the burden again. Ifeanyi now saw up to 4 men a night, some rough, some old, most careless. Her body was becoming a battlefield of scars that didn't bleed. One morning, while cleaning her face after a long night, she noticed something in the mirror. For a second, her reflection didn't move in sync. It lingered. Smiled. She screamed and fell back. Mama Red rushed in. "What is it?" "There's something wrong with the mirror," she whispered. Mama hissed. "You're losing your mind. What you need is rest. Or better yet, another man to knock sense into you." But Ifeanyi wasn't imagining things. The mirror began to show her things, visions. Flames. Chains. Sometimes she saw Chica, crying in a room with blood on the floor. Other times, she saw Amaka standing barefoot in a river, holding a burning branch. It drove her to madness. She told Amaka about it one night. "The mirror is cursed," she said, voice shaking. "Mama tied something to it. I think it's feeding on us." Amaka nodded. "It's the charm. That mirror is where she prays every midnight. She thinks we're asleep, but I've watched her. She speaks to spirits. Binds us." Ifeanyi began to cry. "I don't want to die like this." Amaka placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then help me break it. There's still time." The mirror shimmered behind them, almost listening. And Mama Red, in the next room, sharpened her hearing like a hawk in the dark. Thank you listeners for listening till the end of part 1 of this story. I'd really appreciate it if, after enjoying this story, you could take a moment to like, share, subscribe and leave a comment. Your support means a lot and helps encourage me to keep sharing more stories. Bye.